The final whistle finally goes then at Anfield, and Liverpool are through to the next round of the League Cup thanks to a penalty shootout win. Liverpool go through 3-2 on penalties. Kevin Kelleher saves 3 of Derby County's 5 penalties. He very much is becoming Liverpool's penalty saving expert. In the end, it's Harvey Elliott's left footed penalty into the left hand side of the post that gets Liverpool through, sends Derby County home, and yeah, Liverpool, they made hard work. But they're in the hat next round. Derby County fans give their own players a huge round of applause. But again, for the second consecutive time in this competition, it's Kevin Kelleher who is the penalty hero.
Our last win in this competition was pens.
Exactly.
He's done it again.
Thoughts on the game as a whole. In fact, you know what? Thoughts on the penalties. Let's just start there.
Yeah, let's start with the good shit, man. That was where the action was. The pens was where the action was.
Liverpool's own penalties.
Do you know what? That keeper's a shitbag, and
I'm glad he fucked up.
And I'm glad he fucked up. yeah, because
he tried his best at time, waiting to do lots of it. And fair play, work for him, because in the end he got there. But I was just thinking, it feels like a game that might go horribly wrong, because Bacheta wasn't a great penalty. I think the goalie was off his line when he saved it. Bobby Firmino with one of the worst penalties you'll ever see.
I don't know what to think.
Darwin's penalty wasn't that good when it went in either. But I thought they were all good saves by Kelleher as well. They weren't like they were poor pens. Good, three very good saves by Liverpool's goalkeepers, and that's why we're in the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All of his saves were tried to be tucked in the corner. He went on about the power or the accuracy, but you could see the intention there, and he reads them all really well. He gets over.
The second save is
and the third one for me. The second and third, they're the really good ones for me. And the boy's on it. Cool. Like, he didn't look flustered. Nope. He didn't look nervous. Like, where you could see that, I'm just going to use this word, the rest of the pen takers were complacent. And I say that because they all had unorthodox run-ups for me. They was all trying some new shit for this season that they haven't quite mastered yet. But Kelleher has stuck to his guns. He continued to do what he does well, and he's grew into. He knows that he's got a knack for being able to read pen. Like, and again, I don't know, as an ex-striker to a degree, do you know when people are running up to a pen how they're going to take it, their body movements, where they're going to try and place it? Is your reading a little bit better than your more orthodox goalkeeper?
Because I'm not
100% sure. Maybe that's just a bit of speculation, but whatever it is,
he's good at it.
He's good.
I was about to say, like, I don't know how much homework you can, like, I know you always do homework on pen takers. Yeah. Can you do pen? How much homework have Liverpool got?
Look at our homework on the Derby players. Like, we didn't even have fucking kits for them because you can't find them online.
I wonder what they've done,
What footage is there for them to be able to see?
Whether it's homework or whether it's just reading the play, done really well. Kieran Knock with the £2 super chat. Excuse me. Kelleher is the best number 2 keeper in the Prem. He's certainly up there. He's certainly a great pen saver, an excellent pen saver. In fact, I say that right. The last time we had a penalty shootout, he did in the 15 pens past him or something. That's fine. We're just talking about today. But early on in the competition, he has saved a few as well. But last season, but done it against Leicester, does it again tonight. Obviously scores a penalty against Chelsea. Keevan's making a name for himself. So Liverpool are through.
Long may it continue.
Absolutely, fair enough. Good for him as well to get these moments. I think when you get these big moments, because Kevin Kelleher's too good to be a backup goalie. He should be starting for someone, I think, in the Premier League, in my opinion. But these moments are what maybe keep him around. If he get, you know what I mean? Because he knows he gets that big moment. You might as well have 5 big moments for Liverpool season and play 20 odd games for
you're just getting
shite. Yeah. So that's why it's important. We had a super chat from Trig Josh. Great commentary, guys. Thanks, Josh. Can we have graphics telling us what the pen score is next time? Not everyone has facilities. Tom? No. Josh,
we knew how much work goes in the last 10 minutes of a show to add the pens on top of Tom's workload. You're trying to send a breakdown.
Also, we just about had the game feed working like it. With all due respect, we struggled through it. We got there in the end.
Brace DeVille says Tom is a legend. 100%.
Tom is a legend. Tom kept us going. We were floundering a couple of times there, and Tom kept us above water. Right then, let's go back to the game. Liverpool picked a team that we said 5 first team players, 5 very young players. Of those 5 first team players, one of them's Carvalho, youngster had, so it was a mixed team. So Liverpool had Gomez, Nat Phillips, Kostas Tsimikas, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and then Carvalho was in the middle, and then loads of youngsters. In hindsight, it feels like they were probably one short. I think if there's a striker on from the start, and with all due respect to Leighton Stewart, we didn't see much of him, he had one chance, they probably could have won that game. But the issue with the team, and it was the one, we said this after 5 minutes, where's the goal coming from? Yeah. Where's the goal coming from? It felt like
they're going to manufacture it.
It felt like the plan was always get the guns on at 60, 70 and we'll get it. And even that didn't really happen, because by that point Derby had something. They were hanging on, they were defending resolutely. Listen,
he got comfortable at that point, Andy.
Yeah. I think everyone, we might have been to blame for this. We were like, as long as they don't score, we'll send Bobby and Nunes and Elliott on, and we'll get one. Yeah. And listen, if Harvey Elliott takes a better touch in front of goal, the game plan might
probably buries it there. And he's off celebrating. He gets the winner by default anyway, but he probably should have done it 10 minutes sooner. 15 minutes sooner. And
I always think it's a risk making those times. Listen, the risk is what the risk is. I wonder, mate, if the balance shouldn't be 5 and 5. I think it should be 6 and 4 max. You're probably one first team player short. I don't know who that first team player is, because looking at the bench, he was never going to start.
Well, if you'd have liked Ken Jones for me,
I don't know. Potentially, is he injured? I don't know.
No, he was. I don't know. I don't know if he actually is injured, but he's been in and around the team the last couple of weeks. I would expect someone either like a Jones, potentially even a Harvey to start those kind of, like, for me. And I know we've said where we have to manage Harvey's minutes so far this season, but for me, these are still the games where I would expect a Harvey to be your talisman. Yeah. He's that I think
I would have started early, but then again, maybe if Jürgen knows for the fact he's starting against Southampton, I do understand it, and there are injuries, and I get it, but I
shouldn't be in that position though, and I think that's where we're a little bit short at the minute. We're over-reliant on using his minutes in games that for the most part mean so much to our season, whereas you should be able to be treated as a luxury. We've got the luxury of being able to play you as and when, and in games where there's less pressure, but you can play to your full potential and excel and show off all of your skill sets without feeling as though you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. And in those set of circumstances, I think he really steps up to the plate, whereas you can't expect him to step up to the plate 5 games out of 5 in the Premier League if you're just going to continue to use him.
Again, we don't know the fitness levels of all Liverpool players, but in hindsight, if Harvey starts at Southampton, to your point, but in theory, you could use Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago. But yeah, listen, it's irrelevant how Liverpool are through. We've had a super chat from Reece Whittington. Thanks very much, Reece. I'm so happy that Pachetti just missed didn't mean anything in the end. He looks class. It really rubs salt when their keeper is 2 yards off his line with every pen. Certainly for the Pachetic pen, I'm sure he was. If there's VAR in that competition, he spot that.
Yeah,
because he was well off his line for that one. He was off for a few times, but I wonder. Yeah, I thought Pachetti was again neat and tidy, did a decent job. And with that could break a player, so I'm glad it didn't. Of the game itself, then I suppose I thought Liverpool defended quite well. Derby didn't really have a sniff. He didn't really offer much of a threat. When they did, I thought Nat Phillips was very, very good at being in the right place. There was a couple of counter attacks that could have been a bit fruity for Liverpool, and Nat did well. So credit to him. Anyone else in the 90 minutes for you who you thought had a strong game?
So for me, Nat Phillips, out of those senior players, it's hard to really pick one of the youngsters that was kind of breaking through. Probably the one compliment that I would give is the midfield seemed, apart from, again, there wasn't really much creativity from the midfield, but in terms of how it functioned and as a unit, it worked well. And I don't necessarily think that was down to the Ox, but I think the young players around him, I think Pasesic was good, and was it Clark? Was he?
He was decent.
Yeah, I think both of them were decent in midfield. They didn't look like he was off the pace. He didn't look like he was out of water. He didn't look like he didn't know what was expected of them. Could they have used a little bit more guile and creativity in and around him, a bit of a spark? Probably yes. So I feel they were probably the better two. And then obviously you're probably looking at the likes of the substitutes that come on to change the game as well, and Doak was probably the standout.
Yeah, if I was Chris Hurst,
it'd be nice to see him on the 19th. You said him that week of the 19th of December. It'd be nice to see what he's able to do, I was impressed by him.
You know what? If you're allowed like 15 subs on the bench these days, there's worse options than him. I don't know what he'd be like in the Premier League. You know what he is? He's quick. He's one of those lads. There's loads of lads in the league, in the world, that'll be quick without the ball. He's quick with it. And again, I don't know enough about Derby County's left back, Sibley, I think it was, to know what he is. And listen, but Ben Doak had him on toast, and he moves. He's very, very comfortable in possession. Again, listen, in bigger games, you don't know what his defensive work. I'd be like, but my God, if there's 15 minutes to go in the game, there's worse options than just launching that kid on and just go and have a little go. I was delighted to see him get some minutes. I'm just trying to check actually how old he is. I might be 16? Wrong. He is 16. He is 16, isn't he?
16 years of age.
Yeah,
what was you doing at 16?
He turned 17 in 2 days, so happy bit. What was I? Not playing for Liverpool. I was watching videos on the internet. I might not have been watch-alongs of football streams. Yeah, it certainly wasn't that. There might have been a black lad and a white lad on it, but there was certainly no football. It was a. Producer Tom cuts me off. Probably for the sake of the show. You're just being dirty-minded. I was talking about Hollyoaks. Right. All's well that ends well.
Yeah.
But...
And in the end, it made it a little bit more entertaining.
Yeah, it was fun. And we got like loads of views on the watch along, so sounds like...
I know. 10,000. Crazy how they all come in to try and watch the downfall of the mighty Reds, and in the end, they get ushered out because Kelleher is a fucking legend and he's boss. Like, they come thinking, they're going to be shit at better, but Kelleher is boss. Like, he's the GOAT right now of these pen games. So, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, the real ones that have stuck around, the original 2,900 are still in the chat watching the stream.
Shout out to you guys, yeah. Shout out to you guys.
The other 6,000 that hopped on the bandwagon.
all probably fans of other teams. Right then, very, very quickly before we start tuning off, I want to talk about Calvin Ramsay full debut, first time we've probably got a chance to see him. I was very impressed with him defensively. There wasn't a lot from him offensively. I think it's fair to say it wasn't like a shining performance, but he looked. I said during the show, Liverpool could do with having a right back version of Kostas Tsimikas, just someone who you can drop in and be relatively comfortable with. Now, Calvin Ramsay's a little bit younger, he's less experienced than Kostas, of course, but Liverpool are forced when Trent doesn't play. Usually it's Gomez or Milner going at right back. Not ideal. You're moving players, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of thing. What were your first impressions of 90 minutes of Calvin Ramsay?
I think there's definitely there's a player in there, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think he looked calm, composed on the ball. There was a few nice touches, even in high up the field. Obviously, he's not getting the opportunity to get the deliveries in the box, and maybe that's an element of his game that he's going to have to work on. But I think there was enough in his performance from a defensive standpoint to say, yeah. Again, obviously, we'll need to see it against higher levels or higher caliber of opposition, but whatever, you can only beat what's in front of you. And I think he was strong in his tackles, he was assertive, he wasn't passive, he didn't stand off. Many a times he wanted to win the ball back as often as he could when it came over on his side. I think the thing for me is, something that you really mentioned during the watch along was we was having a conversation. Someone put a super chat in about the order of the centre backs. Your point to over the Canate and the Matip thing was, at this point it's probably horses for courses, and one player plays better against one type of opposition and vice versa. And I think if we can work Calvin Ramsay to that point where it is he becomes the right back that is defensively sound at 95% of the time, and that's what his kind of quality is. If there ever be, and he gets to that, maybe not that world class level, but he gets to that top pro level where he's one of the toughest right backs or full backs to try and take on. You then have the proposition to be able to say, well, no matter what type of game it is, we've got a full back for every possible
a dependable option.
And dependable option. And I think that won't happen overnight, and it's going to be a work in progress. But I think we were saying before, what's Tsimikas' USP, being able to get balls into the box and his deliveries, that might be something where he just naturally has a knack for defending and being a good one-to-one defender, and he might relish those battles more than the likes of Trent. We know as Liverpool fans the quality that Trent brings, and we know on his day, given a task, he can do it. But we know that there will be times where he and the system are overexposed. If within this system we can find a player that doesn't end up being overly exposed, and that isn't a weakness within his game, there is a chance that you can turn around and say, and even when it comes to seeing out games now and being like, right, we're 2-0 up, or we're 2-0 up is the perfect example, or 2-1 up. We just want to see out the game. There's 20-30 minutes left to go. Take Trent off, let him be rested because we've got a big game coming up, and we just know that having Ramsay in the back line, it just helps us shut up shop a little bit more. We don't have to be on the front foot anymore. We've done all our front foot work with Trent on the pitch, and we've got the goals as our reward. Now we can be a little bit more reserved. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops. I'm looking forward to seeing how we can get the best out of him, and really what is his best qualities, and enhancing them game by game. But I think it was a good start for him in terms of his confidence, and I think there's definitely a player in there that we'll probably see a lot more of.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Right, we'll start wrapping up there. And then if you guys want even more from us, there is tons of content available from the Redmen TV. Errol will be back very, very shortly with the fan reaction show. So if you're a club legend, subscriber, get yourself in the Discord chat, get yourself in one of the YouTube members, you can use the live chat. Of course, head on over to the socials as well. We'll put a post out very, very shortly if we haven't already, to get your thoughts on the game. I'll be at the board doing the player ratings again on YouTube. We've also got some fan reaction on YouTube from the stadium. We've got, in terms of Redmen Plus, our subscription service, we've got the In The Ground podcast. That is pretty much going to be out in the next few moments. That will be out very, very shortly. We'll also have the instant match reaction. Me and Elle will go through the big major tournaments of the game. And then tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, UK time anyway, the final word, Joe will go live as well on Redmen Plus. Fingers crossed Liverpool get an easier game in the next round, but we'll find out if we do. But yeah, do come and join us. Stick around on the YouTube, then come over to redmenplus.com, sign up, get yourselves involved for all this amazing post-match content, and then the build up to this final game of this mini half season against Southampton this weekend. Yeah, thanks all for joining us on this extended watch along. It's been a pleasure having you with us. Liverpool are through to the next round, just about. All the best, lads and girls. See you all soon. Take care.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a like on the way out. Did you know you could get some hoodies, t-shirts and any accessories from redmenmerch.com? So head on over there now and grab yourself something.